Well, welcome to the Valley Hoops Insider podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. I'm Harry Schroeder. We've got two great guests with us today. Two basketball playing Norris brothers. They're going to be dancing together this year, both of them playing in the NCAA basketball tournament known as March Madness, the Big Dance. And Braden Norris and Keaton Norris are both with us today. Those of you that follow our site know that Braden plays for the Loyola Ramblers and Keaton for the Wright State Raiders, and the two of you are playing in the NCAA tournament. And first, thanks, guys, for joining us today. I think it's going to be a fun time talking about this shared experience. Braden, have you given Keaton any, tips? What's it going to be like to play in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, not yet. I'm letting him enjoy the championship. This is a special week whenever you get to win the conference championship and, punch your ticket to the tournament. I'm kind of letting him enjoy that. Selection Sunday, obviously coming up this weekend. It's a really big deal. It's a fun time. Students will be there. So maybe next week, I'll start giving him some advice. But for now, just let him enjoy it.
Before we drag Keaton into this, Braden, I was telling you before we got started, my Twitter feed went crazy when I put up a picture of you showing the trophy to the rest of your family. That had to be a special moment for you and the clan.
Yeah, super special. I mean, I wanted to bring that trophy over to them because they deserve some of the celebration too. Both of us wouldn't be in this position, without our family, especially our parents. They've sacrificed a lot for us and have really pushed us, to be in this position and, the players and people that we are. So all the credit goes to them. And I just felt like, they deserved some of that celebration.
Keaton, tell us a little bit about the Wright State Raiders. You guys take the Horizon League tournament championship, and I don't think you were the favored team in that tournament. Tell us a little bit about the Raiders.
I would say just as far as the season has gone, it's just been filled with many ups and downs. I think that going into the tournament, our last two home games, we wanted to just make sure that we finish the season off right and then get some momentum going into the tournament. And I think that's what happened. I think people saw what we are really capable what type of team we are. So,
well, congratulations. We're excited about that. Keaton, I'll stay with you for just a minute. So talk about growing up there in Hilliard, Ohio, and Dad being a coach. He coached both you guys and just your community. Tell us a little bit about Hilliard.
It's definitely, there's 3 high schools in Hilliard. So it's definitely a competitive community as far as basketball and other sports go. Definitely rivalries with our school, Bradley. Definitely was tough always playing against the other 2 Hilliard schools. As far as my dad being a coach, me and obviously Braden, we couldn't ask for a better situation as our high school careers went on. We obviously respect him as a father and as a coach. So I think that Hilliard just was really a blessing to us because of him being a coach and just us being in good hands and knowing what we were going to get into as our high school careers went on.
So, Braden, were there a lot of backyard basketball brawls? Dad, you, Keaton. Was the backyard? It might not have been the backyard, but was it a competitive family growing up?
Yeah, just a little bit. Whether it was in the court in our backyard that we have outside, or in the gym. Obviously, our dad being the coach, we had keys to the gym at all times, which a lot of people don't get that opportunity to have. So that was nice, but. Yeah, there's been just a couple times where me and Keaton have, we've ended up on the ground or something like that. So yeah, super competitive, but that's also, another reason why we are who we are.
You guys both obviously admire and respect your dad, and he has obviously been a very successful high school coach as well. And then Braden, you go to Loyola and you get Porter Moser, who's a spectacular coach, and now first year under Drew Valentine, who's just been outstanding. And then Keaton, Scott Nagy is just a legend. You guys have had great coaching. Braden, could you first kind of compare and contrast styles of coaching? You've got your dad, Porter, and Drew.
Yeah, I mean, obviously from a schematic standpoint, things are different. But it's also very similar. My dad and then Porter and Drew, they hold our team, to a very high standard at all times on and off the floor. And that's where I think, the similarities can come in. I think that's, a lot of people in high school don't get the opportunity to be held accountable at the level that we both were in high school with our dad. And I think that really prepared us for the college level because, you're going to be coached and coached really hard at the college level. And that's where I think, playing for my dad has really helped me.
And Scott, Keaton, talk about Scott Nagy. He's legendary in those parts and has had great success. Kind of compare, contrast his style with your father's.
Like Braden said, they're just different in their own ways, but at the same time, they both hold us to the highest standard. They both push us every day, make sure they're getting the best out of us and that we can be the best that we are capable of being. I would say that, like he said, they're just different in their own ways when it comes to like X's and O's and stuff like that, and what we focus on offense and defense, stuff like that. But a big similarity to those two are just how much we focus on defense. I know it might not always show. Like this year, we've had some times where defense has been rough for us, but it's definitely talked about and definitely focused on in our program. So I would say that's the biggest similarity is just the focus on defense and how important it is for us.
All right. Either one of you answer this question. You both wear number 4. Why?
I'll start. So number 4, this goes back to like 4th grade AAU. I start on a team that I really don't know anyone, and the coach just kind of handed me a jersey, and it happened to be number 4. And now, most of the guys on that team happen to be some of my best friends to this day. So it just kind of stuck. And then on Keaton's part, I'll let him speak about that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I my number is really number 3. That's what I wore as a kid and through my high school career. And then when I got to Wright State, somebody was already wearing that number. And no one was wearing 4, so it was just like, well, he wears it, might as well follow in his lead. So number 4.
So Braden, was that your number in 4th grade? Did you wear it all through like middle school, high school as well?
Yeah, it literally stuck after that. We had a pretty successful, actually, Keaton was a part of that same AAU team for a while, sitting on the bench as a little kid. But yeah, we had a pretty successful AAU group and just stuck.
So the Raiders are going dancing. The Ramblers are going dancing. How crazy is it for both of you to be, either one of you answer this, how crazy is it that both of you are going to be playing in the same NCAA tournament?
I'll go ahead. Obviously, I mean, it's a lifelong dream just to be in this moment and go dancing. It's a dream, like I said, and then to add my own brother being in the same tournament as me, it's unbelievable. Like I can't really even put it into words how special this moment is, and to be able to share it with him. And then just him being there that night, we won the championship, it was an unreal feeling and something I'll obviously never forget. But to be sharing this moment with him is a lifelong dream.
So Braden, you got to go to watch them play at the Horizon League Championship.
Yeah, I did. So I wasn't planning at all on going. Obviously we won. Now we have more games. We have prep to do. And I woke up that morning, what was it, Tuesday morning, to a text from Drew, actually. And he said, you should go, find a way to get there. And then I was like, all right, I got the approval from head coach. I got to find a way to get down there. So credit to Drew on that one. You know, that means a lot to me and my family. But yeah, that moment was unbelievable. I was actually pretty emotional, you know, when the buzzer went off. You know, for Loyola, I'm playing. I have a little bit control of it. So I kind of expect to win, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because I have control. But you know, being a fan, being in the stands, like it was pretty stressful, pretty emotional. And then you know, with me making the dance last year, I just wanted that feeling for him so bad, and you know, to be able to see that and to be able to you know, see that in the next couple of weeks, you know, continue to live out this dream, you know, it was just awesome.
So if the selection committee has any brains, they'll put the two of you in the same sub grouping or pod or whatever, so your parents don't have to travel all over the place. Should we start a campaign right now, like Wright State and Loyola, same bracket, something like that?
As long as we don't play each other, that's fine. Keep us as far away on the bracket as possible, and yeah, as long as we don't play each other, that's okay.
It's going to be so crazy for your family, I think. I mean, so crazy fun, so crazy exciting to be able to, you know, be at one, or maybe mom and dad will split up and go to separate ones. I don't know how they'll do it. Maybe they've already talked about it, but the idea that they have two sons playing in this dramatic thing at the same time, it's got to be exciting for them as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think this means a lot for, you know, our whole family, not just us two, obviously. You know, our community's been super supportive during this, you know, a bunch of congratulation texts, calls, whatever. So, you know, it's cool. You know, you feel like you're kind of putting on for Hilliard a little bit, you know. So it's cool to feel that way. And yeah, just taking advantage of the opportunity.
Keaton, I'd like you to compare and contrast your game and your brothers. What I mean is, are you the same kind of player out there, or what is different about the way that you play and Braden plays?
I would say we both, I mean, we're both small in our own way, but I would say I'm a little more thinner, and I'd say I'm faster than him, and he's more like.
Wait, you going to take that, Braden?
Nah, that's
knows,
true.
He knows.
That's true. Yeah, that's just a fact.
And I mean, as we've seen, Braden can play in the post and be a little more physical down there. Obviously, we both can shoot it pretty well. I'd say that's where our similarities come together. But I mean, we obviously, since we were little kids, we've worked together every day almost, and it's like our skill levels, I'd say a lot alike, just because we've obviously worked with my dad on the same stuff. So I'd say our games are a lot more similar than different, but they're different in their own way.
Braden, are you a lot heavier would be the wrong word, but heavier, more muscular than when you got to Loyola? You look bigger to me than when you first showed up.
Yeah, so we got a new strength coach this past year, and you know, he's super invested in our program, and it's done a lot for us. And you know, he came to me, all the weight measurements and whatnot, and you know, did his research, and you know, he said at your height, basically, you know, the average pro is 188 pounds, and so I played at like 180 last year, and so now I'm at 188. So yeah, I've gained a few pounds, and that's all credit to Nick Michael, our strength coach.
When you and I talked right after the game a week ago Sunday, or I guess it was, I lose track. Anyway, whenever the Valley tournament was, and talked about you coming up big in big games. 2 years in a row, you've been on the tournament, all tournament team. As point guards, you guys probably both want the ball in your hands with the game on the line, and maybe thrive in that kind of circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, like I always say, you know, we put in all this work for a reason, and you know, when it's crunch time, I feel like if I'm kind of fading away from the moment, or taking the big shot, or just making a play for a teammate, like dishonoring myself in a way. You know, I've put in all this work, I've sacrificed all this time. You know, why be afraid of the moment? You know, I should thrive in the moment because I put in the work. And then it's just all about trusting the work I've put in and live with the results.
Keaton, who's taller? I see both you guys. You're listed at certain things, and I know basketball coaches all lie on their rosters. So what are your actual heights and who's taller?
I honestly, I don't even know.
When you're this short, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
So go ahead, Keaton.
I'm taller. I'll take it.
Do you agree, Braden? Or are you the shorter of the two?
I mean, no, I don't. But at the same time, what are we comparing? Like 5'11" to 5'11 and a quarter? I mean, come
on. So he's taller and faster. Who's better looking?
Me.
Oh, me.
No.
So both of you guys are point guards, and talk about that role. I don't want to keep you guys super long, but talk about that role, Keaton. And before you break in and before you start, I remember reading somewhere, Braden, that Porter Moser said you're the kind of guy that makes your teammates better. Keaton, is that the job of a point guard?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say as a point guard, you definitely need to run the floor and be a leader out there for sure. I'd say being a point guard is probably the most important position on the floor, not in terms of just the basketball aspect, but the communicating and the being the leader on the floor for your teammates and just being a good teammate. I'd say it's just more important than any other thing on the floor for sure.
Braden, your thoughts, point guard job.
Yeah, I mean, just everything that Keaton said, you know, being able to run the team, organize guys, you know, on the fly, being an extension of the head coach, if you will. That's what I pride myself on. I know Keaton does too. Just trying to get guys in the right spot and, you know, ourselves being in the right spot at all times so you can hold guys accountable and lead the team.
Keaton, people on my site know a lot about the Loyola Ramblers. We cover the Missouri Valley and the Ohio Valley Conference quite extensively. Tell us a little bit about the Raiders, though. Tell us about a couple of your key players and you know, just what kind of style of basketball are people going to see when the Raiders are in the NCAA tournament?
I'd say for us, we focus on getting the ball inside a lot. Really, and a huge key to our team is rebounding. All teams, obviously that's a huge key for every team, but we really focus on two things: is getting the ball inside and rebounding. And then in terms of our guys, our personnel, we have very talented players all throughout our roster. I'd say I'd name a few: Grant Basili, Tanner Holden, and Trey Calvin. They've shown all season what they're capable of. And their talents are remarkable. And obviously, they've gotten us where we are today because of what they've shown and what they've done on the floor.
Was it a little bit difficult playing in Braden's shadow? What I mean is following him through the high school ranks?
I'd say no. I'd say it's more of a help, to be honest. I'd say it helped. It helped me with my recruiting. Obviously, I wasn't highly recruited, but if it wasn't for him, I don't think Wright State would have looked at me the same. I'd say people will compare us or look at us and say who's better or who's the better shooter, but I'd say he's helped me way more than I've been living in his shadow. So obviously I'm very thankful for all he's done for me, and everything that he's everything that he's done to get me to where I am today.
And Braden, are you campaigning with Coach Valentine to get Wright State on the schedule for next year?
No, like I said before, I don't want to. I do not want to play Wright State.
Scared.
He's calling you out.
Yeah, I don't think he does either. That's more just for the parents, for our family. I don't think that would be good for their health. But yeah.
So Braden Norris, Keaton Norris, they're both going dancing this year in the NCAA tournament. We don't know where they're going to be playing yet, what bracket, how close they'll be, whether or not mom and dad can be in both places at the same time or separate days or however it plays out. But guys, we're super excited about what you've been able to accomplish and this special spring for the Norris family. And appreciate you taking time with us today to just let people know something kind of behind the scenes a little bit. Before we let you go, Braden, you have had such a fun run there at Loyola, and obviously I've been able to watch it up close and personal. Tell people about maybe is there a difference? Is it, man, now that it's now that it's March Madness, the intensity changes, right? I mean, maybe your practices don't change, maybe the preparation doesn't change, but the intensity is different, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think people that try to hide from that and say it's just like every other game, they're lying to themselves, honestly. I think we do a great job here of treating every game the same. Drew always says treating every game like it's our Super Bowl. And I think we do a really good job out of approaching each game like that. But I mean, come on, like you're in the March Madness, you're in the big dance, it's going to feel bigger. The intensity is just going to rise. Every possession means more. And, we gotta take on the challenge.
And Keaton, are there any, before I let you guys go, are there any family traditions or superstitions? Like, we lick our left ear before we go out. I mean, is there any quirky little thing that either of you guys have or the Norris family has?
Not that I can, there's nothing that really stands out, but I think we all
Put your
in our
left
own
sock on
way.
first. I mean, nothing like that.
I'm right sock and right shoe on first every
Oh
time.
yeah, always.
Do it differently.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Always right first. But I would say we don't have anything that really stands out, but we all have something little that we do every day that we call a superstition. That we make sure that we do every day. So I think we all in our own way have our own superstitions. So
I had a high school teammate that put a penny in his shoe before every game. Put a penny down in his shoe. I don't know. Anyway, basketball players are crazy. Braden, Keaton, super appreciate your time. Hope you guys both somehow meet in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 or something like that, and run far this year in the big dance. Appreciate your time today.
Appreciate you having us on. Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
Keaton Norris. That's Braden Norris. They're dancing. They're the dancing Norris brothers. And you've been watching and listening to the Valley Hoops Insider podcast right here on valleyhoopsinsider.com. Remember, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll see you again real soon.